Cracking, fam? All right, so in the last episode, we went over some possible accomplices to this whole Diddy fiasco thing. I'll leave the link for those in the description. Make sure you check it out. All right. This time, we're going over possible Diddy victims. All right. And if you're sensitive, this is definitely not the episode for you. Go ahead and shut it off now because we're gonna go deep into some of this stuff that's alleged, and it's horrifying. Don't forget, yeah, this is all alleged, right? Nothing's actually proven in court yet, but we're just speculating. We're just asking questions, right? For instance, rapper Shyne has a documentary coming out in which he claims to be the fall guy for Diddy in the now infamous 1999 club shooting.
Everybody that heard me wanted to sign me. I would ride my bicycle up the Brooklyn Bridge, and by the time I got down, raps would just come to my head.
I got a call. They was like, yo, you gotta hear this kid.
His name is Shyne. Kid is nice.
Now tell me who on the with us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Whoa. This is a bad beat.
Everybody wanted him.
Somebody called Diddy and started talking crazy. Signing to Bad Boy, I became a millionaire.
Bad Boy was very much like a family for a very long time.
At this point, I'm with Puff all the time. I go to Club New York, we're hanging out, and I think we're getting ready to leave.
And then you hear,
Bad boy.
Police are questioning entertainers Sean Puffy Combs and Jennifer Lopez following a shooting at a nightclub.
I had nothing to do with a shooting in this club.
Puff couldn't handle going to jail. Every man for himself.
Puffy got acquitted and he got 10 years.
He was betrayed.
I was absolutely set up to be the fall guy. One of the most difficult parts of it was watching everybody succeed. Watching 50. But I put out another album while I was there.
he got bigger.
I spent 10 years in prison, but I was able to move on.
The trajectory of Shyne after that changed.
There's a time to pivot. There's a time to transition. And that's how I got into politics.
Catching up to God quicker.
The politics just came naturally because that made me have a purpose.
That's a beautiful thing when somebody finds their true purpose in life.
To my very end, what's it all about?
This gentleman came with an aura around him, and everybody was drawn to him.
Caught up in this illusion called life.
Belize first. The Belizean people first.
This story is unbelievable.
Everybody's journey is different. Mine was 23 years. I sacrificed my career and life and family to be someone with humanity, with integrity, with honor.
Catching up to God quicker. To my very end.
When I was a 18-year-old kid, just wanting to do nothing other than make my mother proud and make Belize proud and do what all of us want to do, be recognized for our talent and take over the world. I was defending him, and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison. So that is the context by which you must always describe that relationship. Yes, I forgave, I moved on, but let us not pretend as if I was in Miami for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Well, I saw
and
you
that
spent a birthday with him once.
I
saw a birthday
I
cake.
went again to do a charity event for impoverished youth in London. So let us not lose sight of what the cold hard facts are. This was not someone who I vacationed with and who he and I enjoyed this great intimate relationship of brotherhood. This is someone who destroyed my life and who I forgave and who I moved on, and for the better interest of Belize, because he was in a position at that time to give scholarships and to maybe invest. I would not deny attempting to bring the investment to Belize and to bring the contributions to education to Belize, but don't distort it as if he and I were bombale. This is someone that destroyed my life, but do I take any joy or any satisfaction with what he is going through? Absolutely not. I am different than maybe other people. No one needs to fail for me to succeed. No one needs to suffer for me.
In your at the height of your professional relationship, or thereafter through the reconciliation, when he was an instrumental part of promoting you through Revolt Media, were you aware of these freak-off events, and were you aware of them? Did you have any participation in them?
Oh my goodness, Jules Vasquez. Jules Vasquez.
Were you aware of them?
Jules Vasquez.
Were you aware of the freak-offs?
Sir, I had nothing to do with Sean Combs' personal life, no interaction. That level, everything was strictly on a professional level.
Did you know that one of the victims, Natania Reuben, has always blamed Diddy?
Hey, how you doing? So, here today about this latest lawsuit with the P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs, whatever you want to call him, lawsuit that has come out involving the producer Little Rod. So basically his last two lawsuits, or last two major lawsuits, the one with Cassie, she made mention that Puffy made her carry his guns into nightclubs and wherever they went. And he threatened her to make her feel like she had to do so. And while there were lots of things of importance, that stood out to me. And I'm going to tell you why. In this lawsuit with the producer Little Rod, they were both SA'd by him and threatened and physically harmed. But in this lawsuit, he appears to be a very young producer to me. But he said something very specific. As a means of threatening him, Puffy said, that's why I shot up the club in New York back in 1999 and let Shyne take the fall for it. Let me tell you why that's of utmost importance to me. Because I am the woman who he shot in the face in that 1999, December 27th, 1999, Club New York shooting. I have told everyone ad nauseum since then, even the surgeon who did the surgery to take the bullet. I got shot in my face with a 9mm hollow point bullet called a cop killer. I literally have told everyone and never changed what I said. I watched him. I got pow-powed in the face. I watched him fire the gun. I've said it all this time. Even the surgeon who did my surgery to take out part of the bullet fragments that was aspirating into my lungs and try to remove as many bullet fragments as possible, testified in the criminal trial that while they were putting me under, I was screaming, Puffy, pew pew me in the face. He testified in the criminal trial. It is in the record. They all knew he did it. Everybody knew he did it. But he paid off the club bouncer named Sharice and all these other people and the club owners with their video to hide the video. That's his MO. I told everybody that. This man almost took my life, has traumatized my life, has caused undue harm, irreparable damage to my life, lied his behind off. I've had all these youngins on the internet harassing me, swearing that I'm making it up that he did it. And look what he did to Little Rod. He threatened him. Oh, you don't think I bust my gun? I shot up the club in Club New York and let Shyne take the fall for it. I shot them people. Well. It only took 24 whole years for it to come out. You see this tattoo? This commemorates me getting shot. It took 24 years for him to come out and say it. I've been saying it all along, but y'all pick and choose who y'all want to believe. Oh, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. Not only did he pew me in the face, he also set off a course of harassment against me for the past 24 years. When I tell you the things I went through, there was a time in 2017 and 2018 where I got 7 flats on my BMW. 7, the same tire, in a 2-year span. 7 on the same tire, and they were all new. Every time it happened, I had to get a new tire. I have the pictures to prove it. Harassing me. You want to know why? Because prior to Cassie, I was the only person to be victimized by him and then to successfully sue him and get paid. And he had to pay me out of his pocket. He has never gotten over that. Oh, baby. You see this RICO charge that's about to come? This conspiring and pew-pewing up the club and ruining or attempting to ruin my life? As God as my witness, I will not stop until you suffer every single iota of punishment, until I have every second of recompense that you took from me. For every tear that I had to cry or my children had to cry, I am going to get $1 million back from you. I will not stop until you pay the price for what you did to my life. And for all you people out there on the internet and in cyberspace and in the far reaches of my life or the perimeters or wherever who always like, oh, she just saying that to get some. Hell, what you got to say now? What you got to say now? I had some youngins on the internet that ain't even old enough, that weren't even alive when it happened, arguing me down, cussing me out, calling me everything but a child of God. Go check Instagram. It's there. Harassing my life. Harassing me. Oh, you lying. He ain't do that to you. You just want clout. You just chasing clout. What is that to chase clout about? How is that clout chase worthy? It doesn't even make sense. Well, I guess it would make sense in this new generation. But you better believe I will have my say. I will have my say. Hashtag having my say. Hashtag the dopest nerd ever. Hashtag Eb Talks. Y'all ain't seen or heard nothing yet. I've had my say. The best and the rest is yet to come.
But Funkmaster Flex seems to think that Shyne is writing in all caps, and Mark Curry says he was paid off.
Problem with the dudes he had in the club, not Puff. So I want to make sure, because this has been bothering me for weeks. So when somebody tries to say they the scapegoat or they're like they were used, trends has been bothering me, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. Shyne, I love you, bro, and I know what you've been through. No, I don't, but you're a liar. You're a stone cold-faced liar, Shyne. First of all, you remember when D-Rock had to beat you up at that studio because you were feeling yourself? You lucky you signed the Bad Boy, because if you did not sign the Bad Boy and you signed the Def Jam or anywhere else, they were gonna pound you out like the day they beat you up at that studio. Shyne, you can't lie with me around, bro. And I'm gonna tell you something else, Shyne. If you hated Puff so much, when he got the key to the city, you were in the trailer. Sucker. You're a sucker. I can't stand you. You got no guts. You went to jail because you took out your gun because you were scared to get punched in the face by some dudes that you knew that were your people that you jerked. You jerked them because you assigned to them first, Shyne. Shyne, you assigned to those dudes first. I am going to expose you, Shyne, because you're a liar. You could fool your country on who you are. You ain't fooling me. You had 10 record deals because you sound like the Notorious B.I.G. and he died. Everybody wanted to spit in your face back then, Shyne. including me. But you sounded like Biggie, and you was capitalizing off of something. Don Pooh, I apologize. I know I said I wasn't gonna say something tonight. I'm sorry. Shyne, your records were whack too. I'm gonna wait till your whack ass documentary come out. And I'm gonna destroy you. You're a liar. This is a documentary. Oh yeah, he's on Hulu saying that he was framed and he was whatever, and you know, he was the scapegoat and everything else. You're a liar. You couldn't even come through that tunnel, they would have slapped you. You had to come through with 1,000 goons.
Yo, what?
You wanted your head because you had no respect for Biggie. That ain't your natural voice. You're a goofball. You went to jail because you were scared.
I remember when Shyne came home from jail. They released Shyne, right? And then they deported him to Belize, said he couldn't come back to the United States. So he goes back to Belize. And do you remember when Def Jam signed him to a record deal? They gave him what, $8 million? How much?
L.A. Reid gave him $1 million.
All right, so L.A. Reid gave him $1 million to put out an album, and the album never came out. I knew that when L.A. Reid went to give him that $1 million, that was Puff giving him the money, but he had to give it through L.A. Reid. They never intended on giving him an album. If they would have gave him $1 million for an album, wouldn't we have heard the album?
Okay, so what you're saying is this is Puffy's way of paying Shyne off for taking the rap for him.
You're very smart. Yeah. But then that's typical. You know, you always have other people paying other people for things that people need them to pay for. That was just one.
So from your point of view, what do you think happened that night?
That night at the club?
Yep.
Was a dude threw some money at Puff, kind of insulted him. Shyne being the person who hangs around Puff that feels like, you know, out of respect of my brother, or sometimes you could think Puff is like a brother. It's easy to mistake Puff as a friend. For real. Until you need him. Then when you need him, you're going to realize he's not the same person that you thought he was, right? So you could be in the club with him and somebody could be like, yo, F Puff. And you be like, what? This nigga said what? Then you pull out the gun and want to start shooting or whatever it may be, as what Shyne did. And then next thing you know, you're in trouble. But reverse it. If it was somebody saying F Mark in the club and I was with Puff, would Puff say what? And then pull out his gun and start shooting? No, right?
Right.
So that just lets you know right then, if you did that for him, it was either you was just thinking something, well, you wasn't in your right frame of mind. You must have thought that this dude was your friend or somebody that cares about you. He don't care about you. He's not your friend. He gonna say, and I believe in his interview, he said that they was asking him, was Shyne like a brother or someone that was like someone he cared? He was like, he was just an artist. He was just another artist on my label.
That's what Puffy said about Shyne?
Yeah, and that had to hurt. You know, especially if I was Shyne. I'm like, yo, I'm in prison, and because I'm trying to protect you, and you telling them that I'm nothing but just an artist? Wow. When I shot this gun, I didn't shoot this gun as an artist. I shot this gun as someone who felt like I was a brother of yours. See, and that's something that he's capable of doing. He's capable of making you feel like he's your friend.
So what do you think? While we're at it, remember Mace? Yeah, he had his ups and downs with Diddy. This is what he had to say about removing himself from the Diddy situation.
I went through every step on how to deal with him. Every step on how to deal with Puff biblically. I dealt with him biblically because number one, I went to him as a brother when things were not right. Secondly, I went to him with a witness. That was Rodney Jerkins. The third thing it tells us to do is go to the church. bring it before the elders. I reached out to his bishop. His bishop declined to mediate the situation. So I just went to step number 4 and have nothing to do with him. Everything now that we see playing out was all the things I escaped. The car, the Shyne, the loan, Puff Daddy, the Craig Mack, the Biggie Smalls. So even though I made those decisions and it cost me money, that's why I got with Killer and they gave me the money back. I didn't lose no money. Destiny. Talking about he want receipts. Let's start with your mother, nigga. Your mother got the receipts. Nigga. Everything is in your mother's name. That's the one who got the receipts. Nigga. You need more proof? Biggie ain't here, so Big can't give you no receipts. He dead. Craig Mack can't give you receipts. He dead. What are you talking about? Who else? Black Rob can't give you receipts. He dead. And everybody else you made sign paperwork so they can't talk about what I'm talking about. I'm the only one with the guts to not sign it, because I ain't need the money. All money ain't good money. You're not paying me and you're not respecting me. And that's the real problem. Then there's people that try to do bodily harm with me. They will be in the house with Puff. So I'm like, it's a funny game y'all playing behind the scenes. So when people see me, they just see me turned up. They just see me agitated.
So that I should. Niggas try to starve me. I did a lot of work and I just never got paid. So when you don't get paid, you don't show up to work. And people keep asking why you keep coming and quitting again. That's a good question. Because every time I get promised I'm gonna get paid again. And when I find out I ain't getting paid, I quit again.
You know, he tried to tell us back in 2002.
Have you spoken to Puff lately? Do y'all talk or what?
Well, actually, we not really on speaking terms, but you know, I still pray for the dude, and I pray that all is well with him.
Okay. Well, P. Diddy's supposed to be releasing a gospel album. What came to your mind when you heard that? What thoughts did you have?
Y'all want me to answer that?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, can RuPaul put out a gospel album?
But don't you think that everybody can express themselves?
Definitely.
And if he,
I mean, they can. You ask me. I'm just answering how you.
Kathy White is more connected to Jay-Z, but she is Diddy adjacent. She's Jay-Z's so-called mistress who mysteriously died just after giving birth. Now, there's a crazy conspiracy theory with regards to that, but maybe I'll do that in another video. In the meantime, just know that Diddy was around when this went down.
The last question. I asked you to do this earlier, but I just want you to do it even more, go detailed. What do you predict will happen next in the future? You know, it's like you see it before it happens.
Kathy White's true killer is going to be unveiled. And it's not a man. And that woman died screaming.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. Show him the tape, Diddy. You got it.
Oh, man.
That might buy you a little time. You should probably stop looking for plastic surgeons.
Man.
Looking for a new life, new face. We're going to hang you high, bitch. Jay-Z too. Beyonce too. And we're going to round up all the fans. See, I love a good gay man. I just can't stand him. And that's what it is.
With that being
You want to know what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
I'm about to f up America.
Oh.
That's what's about to happen next.
Here we go.
No more filter. From this point forward, any word that I say, I ain't holding back. And I ain't saying alleged either. Y'all said I was lying the first time. Now it turns out I'm telling the truth. You still don't want to admit that I was right, but you don't want to admit that you was wrong. So really, then the diplomacy doesn't matter. Fuck you. I'm going to just keep ruining your lives with the truth.
And here we go.
Kim Porter, on the other hand, was off and on with Diddy for about 10 years. She was with other men too, most notably Albie Shore. But upon her unexpected passing, Minnie and I was focused on Diddy.
Now, a lot of people are starting to look back into Kim Porter's mysterious passing because they feel like it was foul play. They don't feel like she just passed under natural circumstances. They feel like she was allegedly poisoned by a doctor who was treating her. And they believe that Diddy was the one who set this up because he caught wind that Kim was writing a book, allegedly. Once again, we don't know if this is true. We don't know if this is true or not. Kim could have died from natural causes, but there have been a lot of suspicious circumstances surrounding her before she passed, and there has been a lot of disturbing rumors as well. It was rumored that Diddy hired people to spy on her. In fact, an anonymous source told Tough News TV that Diddy hired a cybersecurity specialist named Dana Tran, who is now his baby mama. He hired her to allegedly hack Kim Porter's phones and computers, and he hired a renovation company to wiretap her house.
In fact, Dana had been responsible for tracking Kim's every move up until Kim passed away. Diddy reached out to the cybersecurity company in question initially for consultation about their services and eventually ended up meeting Dana. I'm told she is responsible for hacking into Kim's mobile devices, laptops, and having Kim followed. It has also been brought to my attention that Kim was having parts of her home renovated, and the employee of the renovation company was paid to usher in a tech guy who specialized in installing hidden cameras and microphones. The renovation company provided this private contractor with a uniform to disguise his identity, and he wiretapped and installed hidden cameras throughout parts of the house that he could gain access to. This was all said to be masterminded by Diddy, and Dana executed the plan.
So allegedly, Diddy had people spying on Kim. Also, it was rumored that Corey Gamble, who's a longtime friend of Diddy, was watching and spying on Kim Porter as well. And we know that Corey Gamble is a very suspicious character because Kanye West put it out there that he literally works for the CIA.
Yes, Corey CIA. Like, he doesn't even have to say it. I know it. CIA. What are you talking about? Like,
meaning that's how in tuned and how aligned with the Clintons that the Kardashians were through Corey. No. Through Corey. Corey is a plant. Corey was, Puff Daddy, Manny. You get what I'm saying? Then he was with Justin Bieber when Justin Bieber got in trouble. And then when Bruce did a transition to Caitlyn, he popped up. Now he run around like he Kylie Daddy. But he's there for the agenda and controlling the power of that family.
How am I just now finding out that not only was Corey Gamble extremely close to Kim Porter and Diddy, he was there. He was there when the coroners arrived to Kim Porter's house after 911 was called. Am I crazy? That's Corey Gamble, 100%. Not in the blue, the one right behind him. Like, I don't even have a theory. I'm just confused. And we're going to talk about this in the deep dive. But Kim Porter, when she passed away, there was obviously discrepancies in police reports versus coroner reports. Another thing we know for a fact is P. Diddy had her entire home wired with audio listening devices and video cameras. Was her passing caught on camera? Does Diddy have footage of Kim Porter passing away? I have always wondered that. I just don't get it. How has this man been everywhere, have connections with everyone, but he is really only known as Kris Jenner's boyfriend?
So you already know that Corey Gamble is a suspicious part in all of this, but Corey Gamble might be tied to some very powerful people, which is why he's always surrounded by celebrities. We know that he was Justin Bieber's handler. We know that he's deeply entrenched in the Kardashian family, and he's even really tight with Jay-Z, which is also another thing that I find quite interesting. But Corey Gamble is definitely connected to some powerful people. I believe Kanye when he says that he's a CIA agent. I also believe that he might have some connections to the deep state and he might be a part of a secret society. That's what I believe. I don't know if it's true or not, but I don't think that he's just around just because. I think he's a handler to a lot of celebrities, and I think some celebrities probably fear him because of how connected he is. But his relationship with Diddy and Kim Porter is definitely something to ponder on. I do think he is a suspicious character, and I just don't trust the fact that he just happened to be around when Kim passed away. Now, Kim was friends with him, but still, I don't trust it. But even though some of Kim's friends denied that she was writing a book, there is still this belief that Kim was taken out because she was planning to expose Diddy. This woman by the name of Cola Buff, who claimed to have known Kim, said that she spoke with the police and she alleged that Kim was absolutely writing a book. She said the police, LAPD, have a video of Kim Porter talking about the book she was writing. And I gave testimony to the names of the editors in New York she was talking to. She also went on to say this in a long post. Today, I gave what the district attorney's office says is my final interview over incidents in the life of Kim Porter. I disclosed the name of the editors in New York City who were talking to Kim Porter about possibly publishing her memoir. They gave statements over a week ago. I disclosed the name of the producer I had dated, who she later auditioned for at Sony Pictures. He is now giving statements as well. I told everything I knew. I had no idea that some of the things Kim told me about tie in with the cold case involving a human X trafficking ring on a site called Lipstick Alley, which involves some models Kim knew and proves a certain employee, not Diddy, poisoned 2 models that Kim knew, which is all a part of something much bigger that I know nothing about. But the trafficking of this poison seems to be crucial. The police don't believe that the supposed pages from Kim Porter's book posted on the internet are real, but there was definitely a series of diaries and notebooks, just as she told me, that contained the outlines for several types of books. Kim wanted to write about raising kids and trying to quit smoking cigarettes. She smoked like 3 packs a day. She wanted to write about that, but the editors told her truthfully to get a $100,000 advance. We want to hear about Diddy, and the more dirt, the more money. She was definitely writing a book, just as she told me, but it was in the beginning stages, and there were several different objects containing pieces here, pieces over there, of which she was writing. The book is not in one place. She even recited some of it onto a tape recording, and she went on to say some more stuff, but she says that Kim was writing a book. Now, once again, all of this is alleged. You could either believe Kim's friends, or you could believe some of her associates who claimed that she was secretly writing a book. I don't know, but it is interesting that Cola is saying that she has been questioned by the Fed. So it's clear that they are doing a very thorough investigation on this whole thing that ties in with Diddy. And honestly, I think this situation is a lot bigger than Diddy. I don't think Diddy is the only one who was doing what he was doing. I think he is a small player in a big, diabolical, nefarious circle of people who are doing a lot more sinister things. Diddy, of course, was the one taken down because, you know, they need a fall guy. And Diddy allegedly was recording people doing stuff on camera. He was blackmailing people. So he pissed off a lot of people. And they were like, okay, let's throw him to the wolves. Let's get rid of him. But I don't believe he's the only one doing what he was accused of at all. Now, there's another thing I want to talk about, which I found to be very interesting. This platform called The Paperwork Party is trying to get Kim's case reopened. They want to figure out what happened to Kim Porter. And they've been doing interviews with people like Kim Porter's father. They even reached out to one of Kim Porter's friends, Cheryl Fox. They found out that the last person who was around Kim Porter before she passed was Dallas Austin's daughter, Ashley Austin. And so they have questions about that. And they've been really digging and trying to find what exactly happened to Kim Porter for real, because there's been a lot of things that were covered up. According to the Paperwork Party, the initial phone call from the LFPD, the fire department, claimed that Kim passed away from a cardiac arrest, not pneumonia. However, the medical examiner claimed that the cause was pneumonia instead. to make things look less suspicious, allegedly. And it's believed that they were paid off to say this by Diddy. I don't know if it's true, but that is what's being alleged.
No, Miss Fox, we're trying to get the case reopened. The homicide said they never investigated as a homicide. We believe Kim because Kim was poisoned. Ashley was giving her deep tissue massages to move the poison around. We believe that the doctor poisoned Kim. And I don't believe you had anything to do with it, because Mr. Porter told me that you was running up and down the street trying to get someone to call the doctor. I don't believe you had anything to do with it. But maybe you've seen something that can help us get to who actually murdered your friend.
So now you feel like Kim was murdered?
Yes, she was murdered. I have the autopsy report. She had blood coming out of her mouth. She was poisoned. If you look at the 911 call that was made, if you look at what the fire department said, they said cardiac arrest. That showed up nowhere in her autopsy. She did not die of pneumonia.
Digit 76, rescue 82, cardiac arrest. Digit 76, you're going to get EMS 14.
Now, Tupac and Biggie, East Coast versus West Coast, right? One of the most exciting times in all of rap history. So what does it say that Diddy seems to be connected to both murders? Is he single-handedly responsible for bringing an end to one of the greatest eras in hip-hop ever?
Yo, Diddy paid $1 million to have Tupac unalive? Did y'all see this? Watch this.
And we begin with that breaking news at the top of this hour. New court documents show that Dwayne Keefe D. Davis accused hip-hop mogul Shyne Diddy Combs of paying $1 million for the killing of rap icon Tupac Shakur. According to the court documents, Davis claims Combs paid Eric Von Martin the money. He also says that Combs offered to set up a phone call with Terrence Brown, who was the driver of the car that rolled up next to Shakur and Suge Knight on September 7th, 1996, near the Strip. Now, Davis says that he was telling on himself and not trying to provide evidence against anyone else. He's accused of orchestrating the plot to kill Shakur. A trial date has been set now for some time in November.
Yo, all they wanted to do was get Diddy's foot in the door. Because if this accusation is right, which I think it is, baby, these RICO charges are the least of his problems. This came out July 24th. Where have y'all been? Because I didn't see this and nobody told me about this.
You believe behind all of this is Puffy. You've said this yourself, with $1 million, whether it was $1 million, whether it was $500,000. Tell us a little bit about that.
What I believe happened with Puffy was that, again, I don't think he wanted this conflict to get worse than it already was. And if he could figure out a way to quell that, he would. In fact, we have a statement saying that Puffy had reached out to the members of the Nation of Islam to approach Suge Knight and say, hey, let's have a peace treaty, let's squash this thing, but Suge wanted nothing to do with it. So he was trying to get out from under this imposing threat, knowing that Suge held him responsible for the murder of his friend, and whenever he would come to LA, he knew that Suge Knight was trying to hunt him down. We have a reported incident, an investigation where Suge Knight had accosted one of his associates at a Christmas party in Los Angeles, and they beat the living shit out of this guy. He almost lost his eye in an attempt for these guys to gain knowledge about where he lived in Los Angeles. So he undoubtedly becomes aware of the fact that these guys are actively hunting me down. They're kidnapping, assaulting people. My life's definitely in harm's way. And so I think that out of that desperation and fear, he turned to the streets and said, can you guys kind of handle this for me? Because he knew that if you're gonna deal with these gang members, then the best thing to do is get their natural enemies to do the work for you.
And is that the $1 million? $1 million was on the...
According to Keefe D, he says there was a kind of a loose conversations at Greenblatt's up on Sunset in which Puffy allegedly tells Keefe D, listen, I'm gonna whatever it takes to get these guys off my back. I need you to take care of them. He says we wanted $1 million. Diddy's like whatever, but again, I have to couch that with the understanding that he was in fear for his life.
I fully get that.
Yeah,
I fully get that. So, but the $1 million is from him, but you don't know really if it's $1 million or it's $500,000 because
I think it's just boastful talking.
Okay, got it.
You know, it's like if I see a really nice car that I like to purchase from you, and I just, man, I'll give you $1 million for that.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of like loose.
So how about the part where Zip gives him the gun? He says, listen, right now's the time to do it. Everyone's in town. Go to 662. Here's the gun that I have. He leaves it to him with the car.
Right.
He gives him the gun. And then afterwards, when they talk on a call, he says, was that us? And they're on the call together listening, and Zip says, yes, that was us.
Keefe says, yes, that was us.
Yes, that was us.
Yeah.
Keefe says that was us. And then he says, we'll take care, Zip says, we'll take care of the money. 6 weeks later, he's not getting the money. And, you know, he's finding out maybe he didn't get paid. And then afterwards, he meets with an associate of P. Diddy, Puffy, saying, yeah, we did pay, but Zip kept it. And then when they met, is that all been verified that maybe he did keep the money or they did not pay?
We don't have anything to validate other than his claim.
Got it.
He's claiming that he had people that were closely associated with Eric, that with Zip, that told him, hey, Puffy paid $500,000 and Zip kept the money. So that's his claim. We do know that these two people do exist and that they were associated with him, but those people have never verified that. So that unpaid debt was definitely never collected.
Insiders have confirmed and told Rolling Stone that Biggie was indeed preparing to leave Bad Boy Records before his death, and that Biggie's lawyers were entangled in a legal battle with Diddy to get Biggie back his publishing rights before he was murdered.
The best part is,
what he's sentenced
I
to
believe,
life in prison.
allegedly, he's going to be indicted for the murder of Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G. I think that's what's coming down the pipeline. This stuff right here is serious. But I believe that he's going to be indicted for the alleged murder for hire of Tupac Shakur.
Can I ask you, Chuck,
well
is that based on information that you know, that you've been told?
That's information on all the evidence that's out there. To make a long story short, at the end of it, you have a guy named Gene Dale that works for Diddy that says that he saw a check that a guy named Eric Von Zip had, and he told him that the check was for the murder of Tupac Shakur. Now, there's a YouTuber by the name of Doggy Diamonds. Gene Deal tells Doggy Diamonds, yo, you saw the check for Biggie's life? And he corrects me, he said, no, I saw the check for Pac's life. Eric Von Zip had a check in his right back pocket, and he said it came from Black Ground Records, right? Well, Jimmy Henchman was working with Black Ground Records. So if you tie the Tupac shooting at Quad Studio and you go all the way to the end of it, if there was a check, allegedly, if this was true and Diddy did pay for the hit on Tupac and Suge Knight, and that check came from Black Ground Records, it leads right back to the Quad Studios shooting where when Tupac got shot, Diddy was in the studio with Jimmy Henchman. But they don't tell that story. They make it look like Diddy was in the studio with Biggie. No, Biggie had went behind Diddy's back and got a deal with Atlantic Records and was having a secret having a secret recording session for the first Junior Mafia album. They was recording their first song. Diddy found out that Biggie was having a session. He came to Quad. He was getting ready to bust in on Biggie. But the shooting with Tupac deferred the plan. But Diddy was going to bust in on Biggie to find out that he had a whole nother deal. He was in there recording. So to make a long story short, Diddy and Sean Combs and Notorious Big, Christopher Wallace, had a publishing deal together. With that publishing deal, Notorious B.I.G. is to write songs and Diddy gets a portion of the money. What Biggie did, which was wrong, is he went and wrote all the stuff for Lil' Kim and Junior Mafia and lied to Diddy and told him that they wrote their own stuff. So back the day before Biggie died, Gene Deal tells the story of how he was smoking weed with Biggie, and he was security. He was not supposed to be smoking. Biggie told Diddy that we need more security because Gene was high. So Gene, in return, tells Diddy, hey, man, Biggie, he wrote all the Lil' Kim stuff and Junior Mafia. Big and Diddy jumps in Biggie's face. Say it. Say it. You wrote it. Say it. Say it. And Big is like, oh, man, come on, Diddy. Come on, Diddy. Right? The next day, Biggie was dead.
Whoa.
You know, someone once accused Diddy to his face of Tupac's murder, and her story is horrifying. I mean it. Like, I'm about to play this for you, but if you're sensitive, just skip ahead because this is wild.
Brings me to the 7th lawsuit. Brand new, literally it's just a couple of hours ago in California. We have told you about this accuser before. She says she was raped by P. Diddy at a private home in the Bay Area in 2018. She says that she doesn't believe the police ever investigated her reports. Multiple agencies, not just one, 3. But now we are hearing so much more detail, and actually a level of detail almost unmatched in a lot of complaints that I've read through. I'm actually going to read a lot of the details in just a moment, and I'm going to do it verbatim, and so I need to give you a massive flashing red warning here. What I'm about to say is quite disturbing. There's a lot of uncomfortable language. And if you are triggered or upset by sex assaults and violent assaults, etc., then this is definitely not the show for you tonight. The accuser is named Ashley Parham, and she has agreed to allow her name to be made public. Let's be real clear about that. She is going public with her name. She says that in February of 2018, she met a man named Shyne Pierce at a bar, and that Shyne FaceTimed Diddy outside on the sidewalk, apparently trying to impress her. But Ashley Parham says that she told both Shyne and Diddy on FaceTime that she wasn't impressed. And this is important. She says she believed that Diddy had something to do with the murder of Tupac Shakur and said as much. Allegedly, Diddy warned her that she would pay for saying something like that. Oh. So let's just fast forward now to a month later, where she says this guy Shyne invited her to come to his apartment. And the lawsuit says, quote, plaintiff and defendant Shyne then began to watch a movie, and defendant Shyne offered her a glass of water, which he retrieved and brought back to the plaintiff. A few minutes later, Ashley Parham says that P. Diddy showed up with an entourage, including his top aide, Christina Coram, an unnamed woman who is not a defendant in the suit, and 3 unnamed men, one of whom she says was Diddy's driver, and Parham says that driver waited outside throughout the whole of what I'm about to tell you. Parham says that Diddy was antagonistic from the start, and that he put a knife to her face. And now this is where I start reading directly from the complaint. Defendant Shyne then partially undressed plaintiff, and then defendant Diddy removed the remainder of plaintiff's clothing, removing the knife from her face, and then retrieved a bottle of liquid from a large fanny pack. Defendant Diddy then squirted a bottle of liquid on plaintiff, which placed her in fear that she was being squirted with a chemical substance like acid. Plaintiff soon realized the substance was an oil/lubricant. Plaintiff was squirted with this liquid substance all over the entirety of her naked body. Weeks later, in April of 2018, the plaintiff, still reeling in pain from the horrific assault, went to the hospital as her injuries had not subsided from the assault. Complaint continues. The hospital conducted several tests on plaintiff, including a kit, ultrasound, and x-rays. Additionally, plaintiff was given IV fluids to stabilize her vitals, as she was in a severe weakened state from being unable to eat and losing a substantial amount of weight since it occurred. While at the hospital, plaintiff told members of her treatment team about her horrific assault, and then they contacted the Walnut Creek police. Walnut Creek police showed up to plaintiff's hospital room and took a statement, this is on March 23rd, regarding her assault. Plaintiff had already told the Contra Costa sheriff about her rape, and that it was defendant Diddy who orchestrated it on March 23rd, 2018, which was ignored. Plaintiff declined to refer to defendant Diddy again to the Walnut Creek Police because she believed she'd be ignored by the Walnut Creek Police, just as she was by the Contra Costa Sheriff, and or would further be harmed by defendant Diddy if he discovered she named him to the police. Plaintiff only told Walnut Creek Police about the assault from defendants Shyne and Doe number 2. And I should stop here as well because it's unclear in the complaint why Ashley Parham didn't mention the assault from defendant Doe number 1 as well. That's the man who allegedly said he was the undercover cop, but who had been instructed by Diddy to anally rape her, and according to the complaint, did so. Plaintiff also filed a report to the Orinda Police Department on April 17, 2018, but again was too afraid to name defendant Diddy as one of her assailants. That's a lot. That's a lot to take care of.
Insiders have confirmed and told Rolling Stone that Biggie was indeed preparing to leave Bad Boy Records before his death, and that Biggie's lawyers were entangled in a legal battle with Diddy Insiders have confirmed and told Rolling Stone that Insiders have confirmed and told Rolling Stone that Biggie was indeed preparing to leave Bad Boy Records before his death, and that Biggie's lawyers were entangled in a legal battle with Diddy. Insiders have confirmed and told Rolling Stone that Biggie was indeed preparing to leave Bad Boy Records before his death, and that Biggie's lawyers were entangled in a legal battle with Diddy to get Biggie rather. 11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. 11 benevolent elephants. Insiders have confirmed and told Rolling Stone that Biggie was indeed preparing to leave Bad Boy Records just before his death, and that Biggie's lawyers were entangled in a legal battle